Security! Remove this person before she steals something or makes our guests uncomfortable. The words explode through Manhattan's most exclusive hotel lobby. Every head snaps toward the concierge desk. Every conversation dies. A black woman in business attire stands frozen, her hand still extended for her room key. The manager's voice booms with calculated cruelty. Phones emerge from purses. Cameras start rolling. The woman's face burns with humiliation as 50 pairs of eyes judge her, dismiss her, erase her. But they have no idea what they're about to witness. The woman they're throwing out. She doesn't just have a reservation. She owns the building. She owns the chain. She owns their jobs. And in exactly 7 minutes, she's going to own their souls. Have you ever watched someone make a mistake so catastrophic it destroys everything they thought they knew about power? The Grandview Regency Hotel. Tuesday, 8:47 a.m. Where marble costs more than houses and discrimination, wears Armani suits. Dr. Amara Williams steps off the red-eye from Los Angeles. Jeans, blazer, sneakers, tired, professional, black. Fatal combination. Bradley Morrison looks up from his screen. His smile dies instantly. Can I help you find something? The subway's that way. The words slice deep. Heads turn like sharks sensing blood. Business travelers pause mid-stride. The morning ritual of judging begins. I need my VIP suite key. Williams reservation. Morrison's laugh echoes through marble halls. VIP suite? Lady, do you know where you are? This isn't a Motel 6. An elderly woman in pearls whispers loudly, how did security let her in? A man in a $3,000 suit records everything, grinning. This is gold, he mutters. I have a confirmed reservation, Amara repeats. Ma'am, our cheapest room is $800. Our VIP suites, $3,000 per night. That's more than some people make in a month. He pauses for effect. People like you. The lobby erupts. Phones emerge like weapons. Someone starts a live stream. Karen tries to scam luxury hotel. Comments flood. Finally, someone with standards. She probably doesn't even have a job. Morrison feeds off the energy. This is his moment. His 15 minutes of fame. Security! He shouts. We have a situation. Possible theft attempt. Amara's phone buzzes silently. Messages flash. Board meeting in 8 minutes. Patterson merger needs approval. Mayor's office urgent. She glances at her watch, custom engraved, but nobody notices. 2 guards approach. The crowd thickens. Phones multiply. Someone starts chanting, out, out, out. Morrison addresses his audience like a ringmaster. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why we maintain strict protocols. We simply cannot allow... He pauses dramatically. Certain elements to compromise the safety and comfort of our valued guests. The words hit like acid. Certain elements. Valued guests. The distinction cuts clean through everything America pretends it isn't. A businessman applauds. Actually applauds. Others join in. The sound fills the lobby like thunder. Amara stands motionless in the center of it all, surrounded, humiliated, judged by 50 strangers who see her skin before her humanity. But her eyes drift upward, to the massive portrait behind Morrison's head, to her own face, 20 feet tall, staring down at the scene, to the gold nameplate reading, Dr. Amara Williams, CEO and founder. She reaches for her briefcase. The crowd tenses. Morrison smirks. Oh, let me guess, you're going to call your lawyer? Mr. Morrison, she says quietly. Do you know what the average cost of a discrimination lawsuit is in hospitality? What? $15 million. That's the average settlement when viral videos show staff calling customers certain elements. Morrison's smirk falters. I never said, you said it. They recorded it. 50 witnesses, multiple angles. She gestures to the phones. It's already uploading. The businessman who applauded suddenly looks uncertain. The woman in pearls stops recording. The energy shifts like a tide. But here's what's really interesting, Mr. Morrison. Amara opens her briefcase with surgical precision. This isn't random. I didn't stumble in here by accident. She produces a thick folder. Morrison's name printed clearly on the tab. Personnel file, discrimination complaints, 3 formal investigations in 18 months, all swept under the rug. All victims too scared to pursue justice. Morrison steps backward. You can't have that. That's confidential company. Company property? Amara's smile is razor sharp. Mr. Morrison, whose company do you think it is? The question hangs in air thick enough to choke on. Jennifer at the front desk frantically types something. Her screen loads. Her face goes white. She looks at Amara, looks at the portrait, looks at Morrison. Sir, she whispers, tugging his sleeve. Sir, you need to see this. But Morrison can't hear anything over the sound of his own world collapsing. Because the woman he just humiliated, the woman he called certain elements, the woman he had removed by security, she's staring at him with the patience of someone who owns everything he's ever touched. The question isn't how I have your file, Mr. Morrison. The question is, what exactly did you think was going to happen when you discriminated against your own boss? Silence. Complete, devastating silence. The phones keep recording. 8:52 a.m. 5 minutes until Morrison discovers what real consequences look like. Assistant General Manager Janet Webb arrives like a shark smelling blood. Silver hair, sharp suit, the kind of executive who destroys careers for sport. Morrison, what's this circus? This woman, Morrison points at Amara, is impersonating a guest. She has stolen company files. She's threatening legal action. Webb's cold eyes dissect Amara piece by piece. Jeans, sneakers, tired face, black skin. Her smile is pure venom. Honey, whatever game you're playing ends now. This is the Grandview Regency, not a homeless shelter. The crowd gasps at the brutality. Someone laughs. The sound echoes off marble walls like breaking glass. I have a reservation, Amara says steadily. What you have, Webb hisses, is 10 seconds before I have you arrested for trespassing, fraud, and theft. Corporate documents don't belong in the hands of people like you. The businessman filming shouts approval. Finally! Zero tolerance! The woman in pearls claps. This is why we choose Grandview! But something's happening at the front desk. Jennifer types frantically, her face growing paler with each keystroke. She's found something in the system. Something terrible. Security arrives. 2 guards, led by Marcus Rivera, 20-year veteran with sharp eyes and sharper instincts. His partner, Jake, younger and eager for action. Ma'am, Jake says, hands moving toward restraints. You need to come with us. But Rivera hesitates. Something about Amara's stillness, the way she stands. Not defensive, not afraid, calculating. The crowd grows uglier. Mob mentality takes hold. Drag her out, someone screams. Make an example. Another voice. This is what happens when standards slip. Webb feeds off the energy like a vampire. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why we maintain strict protocols. We cannot allow certain elements to compromise your safety. 8:54 a.m. 3 minutes. Amara's phone lights up like a Christmas tree. Call after call. The screen flashes. Federal Task Force, Mayor's Office, Patterson Industries. She ignores them all. Ms. Webb, Amara says quietly, you mentioned protocols. Let me share some numbers with you. Webb laughs like breaking glass. Numbers? Honey, the only number you need to know is 911 because that's who I'm calling next. But Amara opens her briefcase. Inside, legal documents, corporate reports, a tablet displaying real-time data streams. Discrimination lawsuits in hospitality. Average settlement, $15 million. When it goes viral, she pauses. $25 million, plus criminal charges. You're threatening us? Morrison shrieks. Did everyone hear that? She's threatening us. The live stream explodes. Comments flood. She's insane. Sue her for everything. Lock her up. But Webb isn't finished. She's building to her crescendo. You want to talk lawsuits? I'll bury you in legal fees before you can spell discrimination. You think some activist lawyer will save you? Think again. We have armies of attorneys, billions in resources. She steps closer, voice dripping poison. And when we're done destroying you in court, we'll destroy your reputation, your family, your future. You'll never work again. Anywhere. The crowd cheers. Actually cheers. The sound of educated people celebrating cruelty. 8:55 a.m. 2 minutes. Amara's voice cuts through the noise like a scalpel. Jennifer, what did you find in the system? Jennifer's hands shake over her keyboard. I can't. Mr. Morrison said not to. Tell her nothing, Webb commands. That's corporate information. But Rivera steps closer to Jennifer's screen. His eyes widen. Color drains from his face. Jake, he whispers to his partner. We need to stop this. Now. Stop what? We're doing our job. No, we're making the biggest mistake of our careers. The crowd senses weakness. Someone shouts, What are you waiting for? Arrest her! The chanting starts. Lock her up! Lock her up! 8:56 a.m. 1 minute. Webb plays her final card. You know what? I'm done with this circus. Security, arrest her for trespassing. Morrison, call the police. I want her charged with theft, fraud, and terroristic threatening. Terroristic threatening? Amara asks calmly. You threatened to destroy our business. That's terrorism in my book. The accusation hangs in the air like a death sentence. The crowd goes wild. Phones record from every angle. Comments explode. Finally, someone fights back against these scammers. But then Amara's phone rings. Not buzzes. Rings. The tone echoes through the lobby like a funeral bell. She answers with surgical calm. Williams. Her voice carries clearly as she speaks. Yes, the board is assembled. Yes, Patterson Industries is waiting. I'm dealing with a situation at one of our properties. Pause. The Grandview. A discrimination incident involving our staff. Another pause. The lobby holds its breath. No, not against a guest. Against the owner. 8:57 a.m. 0 hour. The words detonate like a nuclear bomb. Morrison's legs give out. He crashes into a chair. Webb's face goes white as marble. The crowd stops recording, suddenly aware they might have filmed their own destruction. Rivera grabs Jake's arm. Stand down, now. Why? She's just some... She's not some anything. Look at the portrait behind you. Jake turns, looks up, sees the massive oil painting of the hotel's executive leadership team, sees Amara's face staring down at them, 20 feet tall with gold lettering, Dr. Amara Williams, CEO and founder, Williams Hospitality Group. Oh, shit, Jake whispers. But Amara isn't finished. She has one final devastation to deliver. Before we discuss consequences, she says, her voice carrying the weight of absolute authority, I want everyone to understand exactly what they've participated in today, and exactly what it's going to cost them. The silence is so complete, you can hear hearts breaking. The silence isn't just quiet. It's the absence of hope itself. Amara Williams stands in the center of 50 people who've just realized they've destroyed their own lives in real time. Mr. Morrison, Ms. Webb. Her voice cuts through despair like a surgeon's blade. Let me explain what you've actually done here. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't need to. Power whispers. You didn't discriminate against a customer. You performed a public execution of your own careers. The businessman who filmed everything stares at his phone in horror. The video he thought would get him likes is about to get him sued into bankruptcy. But here's the beautiful part, Amara continues, her smile razor-sharp. This wasn't an accident. This was surgery. Precise, planned, devastating. Morrison's voice cracks like breaking glass. What do you mean? 3 months ago, I received discrimination complaint number 15. 15 victims in 18 months. All buried by your investigations. All too scared to fight back. She produces her tablet, swipes to reveal files that make Morrison physically sick. Sarah Chen, Rosa Martinez, Marcus Johnson, David Kim, Jennifer Washington. Each name hits like a bullet. You called them animals, Mr. Morrison. I have recordings. Morrison collapses. Not sits down. Collapses. His legs simply stop working. So I designed a test. What happens when the person you're discriminating against owns your soul? Webb tries to speak but only makes choking sounds. The test had rules. Phase 1. How quickly would you discriminate? Answer: instantly. Phase 2. How brutal would you become? Answer: you threaten to destroy my family. The woman in pearls vomits. Actually vomits. All over her designer shoes. Phase 3. Would bystanders become participants? Would educated, wealthy people turn discrimination into entertainment? She gestures to the crowd, their phones still out, still recording their own destruction. You didn't just watch. You cheered. You applauded hatred. You made cruelty into comedy. The businessman starts hyperventilating. Please delete the video. I'll do anything. Delete it? Amara laughs. The sound is beautiful and terrifying. Sir, this video is now evidence. Federal evidence. In what will become the most expensive discrimination case in American legal history. Phones clatter to the floor like falling dominoes. People realize they've been filming their own prosecutions. But the real masterpiece, Amara says, producing one final document, is the timing. Morrison looks up through tears. Timing? Right now, at this exact moment, I should be signing the Patterson Industries merger. $1.2 billion. The biggest acquisition in hospitality history. The mathematical horror dawns on everyone simultaneously. Every minute I've stood here being humiliated is a minute that deal hasn't closed. Market fluctuations, legal delays, partnership strain. Her phone rings. She answers on speaker, her eyes never leaving Morrison's face. Amara? Where the hell are you? The board is losing their minds. Robert, I'm dealing with a discrimination incident at one of our properties. Silence. Then, Jesus Christ, how bad? Viral video bad, federal lawsuit bad, company ending bad. Are you safe? I'm fine. But Robert? You're going to want to distance Patterson Industries from this property immediately. The liability exposure is catastrophic. She hangs up. The sound echoes like a death knell. That was Robert Patterson, CEO of our acquisition target. He's now questioning whether Williams' hospitality group is stable enough for a partnership. Webb makes a sound like a dying animal. The delay has cost both companies approximately $4 million so far. The reputational damage? Incalculable. Morrison crawls across marble toward her feet. Actually crawls. Please, Dr. Williams. I didn't know. I have children. I have a mortgage. Mr. Morrison, So did Sarah Chen when you had her banned from this hotel for looking like she didn't belong. So did Marcus Johnson when you accused him of credit card fraud for being black in your lobby. She kneels down to his level. Her voice becomes a whisper that cuts deeper than screaming. The difference is, they were innocent. You chose evil. Morrison breaks, completely breaks, sobbing on marble floors while cameras capture everything. But here's the truly beautiful part, Amara says, standing and addressing the crowd. You all have choices now. The crowd looks up like drowning people seeing land. You can try to deny what happened, fight the lawsuits, claim the videos are fake, drag this through courts for years while your reputations burn. She pauses, letting hope flicker. Or you can do something extraordinary. You can choose accountability over denial, growth over destruction, justice over self-preservation. The businessman speaks first, his voice cracking. What? What do you want from us? I want you to understand that your actions have consequences, real consequences, for real people, people with families and dreams and dignity. She looks around the lobby at 50 people who thought discrimination was entertainment. This incident will cost approximately $25 million in legal fees, settlements, and lost business. That money comes from somewhere. Jobs, investments, other people's futures. The weight of collective responsibility crushes the room like gravity. But money is just numbers. The real cost is human. The trust we've broken, the dignity we've destroyed, the message we've sent to every person of color who walks through these doors. Webb finally finds her voice. What? What happens to us? Amara's smile returns. Cold, final, absolute. Ms. Webb, you're about to discover exactly what happens when you threaten to destroy someone who actually has the power to destroy you. The lobby falls into the kind of silence reserved for graveyards and ending worlds. 9:15 a.m. Executive Conference Room, 47th floor. The killing floor. 20 regional directors sit like condemned prisoners awaiting execution. Morrison and Webb enter in handcuffs. Not literal ones, but they might as well be. Their careers are already dead. Ladies and gentlemen, Amara begins, her voice carrying the weight of absolute power. Welcome to the most expensive discrimination case in corporate history. Wall screens explode with data, revenue hemorrhaging, stock prices crashing, social media erupting like wildfire. Current losses, $4.2 million and climbing. Projected settlements, $50 million minimum. Reputational damage, incalculable. Regional Director Sarah Kim's voice shakes. Dr. Williams, we can explain. Explain what? 15 buried discrimination complaints? Systematic racist policies? Institutional cover-ups? Amara clicks her remote. Security footage fills every screen. Morrison's brutality in 4K resolution. Webb's threats in surround sound. The crowd's bloodthirsty applause echoing like demons. Mr. Morrison, look at yourself. Watch yourself call your own CEO certain elements. Morrison vomits. Actually vomits, all over the mahogany conference table. Ms. Webb, enjoy your performance threatening to destroy my family and future. How's that working out for you? Webb's body shakes so violently she falls off her chair. Security has to hold her upright. But here's the masterpiece, Amara continues, her smile promising devastation. While you were busy discriminating, I was busy acquiring Patterson Industries. The room implodes. Directors gasp. Calculators drop. Minds break. That's right. $1.2 billion merger, completed 20 minutes ago. While Mr. Morrison was calling me trash, I was expanding our empire. Legal Director Michael Chen hyperventilates. How, during the discrimination, how did you... Because I'm actually competent, Mr. Chen, unlike your management team who confused racism with customer service. She displays the signed merger documents, The numbers make grown executives weep. Patterson Industries, acquired. Williams Hospitality Group, now $4.8 billion in assets. Market dominance, achieved. All while being discriminated against in our own lobby. Finance Director Janet Torres starts crying. The liability. We're bankrupt. Not bankrupt, evolved. Because this discrimination incident is about to become the most profitable crisis in hospitality history. Everyone looks up in confusion. You see, discrimination lawsuits create precedent, and precedent creates industry standards. And industry standards create competitive advantages for companies smart enough to lead. She clicks again. New data streams across screens. Patterson merger includes their diversity consulting division. $200 million in annual revenue helping other companies avoid exactly what happened here today. The mathematical beauty hits like lightning. We'll be selling discrimination prevention to our competitors, teaching them how not to be like us, profiting from our own failures. Morrison looks up from his puddle of vomit. You planned this? I planned to test our systems, Mr. Morrison. You planned to be racist. Only one of us succeeded. She turns to the directors, her voice becoming surgical. Immediate terminations. Morrison, Webb, their supervisors, their trainers, anyone who knew about those buried complaints. Names flash on screen. 17 people. Careers ending in real time. Personal liability. Full financial responsibility for legal costs exceeding insurance coverage. Estimated exposure, $15 million each. Webb makes a sound like a dying whale. Industry blacklist. Permanent ban from hospitality employment. Background checks will include discrimination, conviction records. The devastation spreads through the room like cancer. Federal cooperation. FBI Civil Rights Division gets everything. Every email, every recording, every buried complaint. Full transparency. Director after director realizes they're next. But here's the beautiful irony, Amara says, standing like an avenging angel. While you were destroying innocent people, I was building something extraordinary. She displays architectural plans, construction contracts, legal documents. The Amara Williams Center for Hospitality Equity, $50 million facility, located on the ground floor of this building, where the lobby used to be. The directors stare in shock. Every discrimination victim gets free legal representation. Every hospitality worker gets bias training. Every company gets diversity consulting. She smiles like a predator who's finally caught her prey. Funded entirely by discrimination settlements. Starting with yours. Morrison crawls across marble. Please, my children, my house. Your children will learn that actions have consequences. Your house will be sold to pay legal fees. You chose hatred. Hatred chose poverty. Webb attempts speech through broken sobs. We were just following company culture. Company culture? Amara's laugh could shatter glass. Ms. Webb, you are company culture. And company culture just got terminated. She turns to the surviving directors. New policies, mandatory bias training every quarter, anonymous reporting systems with direct CEO access, diverse hiring requirements, 40% minimum for management positions. The numbers hit like physical blows. Customer advocacy hotline, discrimination complaints bypass local management entirely. They come directly to me, personally. She clicks one final time. A live social media feed explodes across screens. Hashtag Grandview Justice trending worldwide. 89 million impressions. International media requesting interviews, federal lawmakers drafting legislation. The scope of the devastation becomes clear. This incident will reshape the entire hospitality industry, new laws, new standards, new accountability. She looks directly at Morrison, still crawling on marble. Congratulations, Mr. Morrison. You've achieved immortality. Your discrimination will be studied in business schools for decades. A perfect case study in how hatred destroys everything it touches. Morrison breaks completely. Sobbing, begging, reduced to nothing. But here's my favorite part, Amara says, her voice carrying notes of perfect justice. The Patterson merger includes international expansion, 200 new properties across Europe and Asia. She pauses, letting the mathematics sink in. Properties that will hire 50,000 new employees. Employees who will receive the world's most comprehensive anti-discrimination training. Training designed by the victims you tried to silence. The cosmic justice of it all fills the room like divine judgment. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our session. Security will escort the terminated employees from the building. Their personal effects will be donated to discrimination victims. As security lifts Morrison and Webb's broken forms, Amara delivers her final devastation. Oh, and one last thing. The discrimination victims you buried? They're now our new diversity leadership team. They'll be designing policies to ensure no one ever experiences what they endured. The sound of justice being served echoes through marble halls like thunder. 6 months later, Bradley Morrison stares at his reflection in a cracked bathroom mirror of a studio apartment that smells like failure and broken dreams. The man who once ruled a marble lobby with racist authority now can't get hired to clean toilets. His name is Poison. His face is infamous. His discrimination video plays on loop in every diversity training program in America. The foreclosure notice on his kitchen table has company. Divorce papers, custody loss documents, bankruptcy filings. His wife took the kids to her mother's house, changed their last name, blocked his phone number. He tried to fight back, hired lawyers with money he didn't have, lost spectacularly. The $15 million judgment crushed him like an insect. His house, sold. His car, repossessed. His future, obliterated. Unemployment office, rejection after rejection. We Googled you, Mr. Morrison. We don't hire discriminators. Even McDonald's turned him down. The manager was a young black woman who recognized his face from the viral video. Certain elements don't get jobs here, she said with a smile that could cut glass. Janet Webb has it worse, much worse. Her threats to destroy families became Exhibit A in federal court. The judge called her a predator who weaponized corporate power against innocent victims. Her sentence? 15 million in damages plus 500 hours community service at a homeless shelter. She works overnight security at a Newark warehouse, minimum wage, no benefits. Surrounded by security cameras that record her every move, a delicious irony that's not lost on anyone. Her threats to bury discrimination victims? She's now buried under legal fees, social media infamy, and the crushing weight of consequences. Her LinkedIn shows 0 connections. Her phone never rings. Her children pretend she's dead. But their destruction is just the opening act. The real show is what rose from their ashes. Dr. Amara Williams transformed the Grandview Regency into something revolutionary. A monument to human dignity carved from the marble where hatred once lived. The lobby Morrison defiled now houses the Williams Center for Hospitality Equity. $60 million of gleaming hope built on the foundation of his discrimination. Sarah Chen, the woman Morrison said, "People like her don't tip," now earns $500,000 annually as Chief Customer Experience Officer. Her first decision? Installing a massive bronze plaque where Morrison used to stand. Dignity lives here. Marcus Johnson, falsely accused of credit card fraud for being black, leads the legal advocacy division. His team has won $200 million in discrimination settlements against competitors foolish enough to think bias was profitable. Rosa Martinez, told she looked like housekeeping, directs employee dignity operations across 248 properties in 47 countries. Her budget? $50 million annually to ensure no worker ever feels Morrison's hatred. The Patterson merger exploded beyond imagination. Williams Hospitality Group now operates on 6 continents. Every property bears the same promise: discrimination dies here. The numbers tell a story of systematic destruction, of bias itself. Customer satisfaction, up 47%. Employee retention, up 73%. Revenue, up 156% in 6 months. Discrimination complaints, down 97% industry-wide. But competitors learned the hard way. Hilton tried discriminating against a Hispanic family last month. Williams' legal team descended like wolves. Settlement, $25 million. Hilton stock crashed 12%. Marriott executives made racist jokes in a recorded meeting. Williams Foundation released the audio globally. 3 executives fired. $40 million settlement. International partnerships canceled. The Williams effect spread like wildfire through corporate America. Discriminate and die. Simple mathematics. Federal legislation followed Morrison's destruction. The Morrison Act makes discrimination complaint cover-ups, federal crimes punishable by 20 years in prison. The Webb Amendment criminalizes threats against discrimination victims. Personal liability, unlimited. Appeals, denied. Justice, guaranteed. 27 states require Williams certification for business licenses. Fail the bias test, lose your company. No exceptions, no appeals, no mercy. International markets demand Williams standards. European Union won't trade with discriminatory companies. Asian partnerships require bias-free certification. Global business flows through the gateway of dignity. Morrison's 30 minutes of hatred triggered 50 years of systematic reform. His discrimination video, watched 300 million times, became the catalyst for the largest civil rights transformation since the 1960s. Children study his case in school, how hate destroys everything. Business schools teach the Morrison catastrophe. Law schools analyze Webb v. human decency. His name is literally in textbooks as the cautionary tale of how personal prejudice destroys not just careers, but entire systems of oppression. The viral moment that destroyed him liberated millions. Hotel workers no longer fear reporting bias. Customers no longer accept discrimination. Managers no longer believe racism is profitable. Amara Williams didn't just survive Morrison's attack. She transformed it into the most powerful civil rights victory in corporate history. The Williams Foundation operates in 89 countries. Free legal representation for discrimination victims. Funded entirely by settlements from companies stupid enough to think bias was acceptable. Global Dignity Initiative. 100,000 executives trained annually. Each signs a personal pledge. Discrimination in their companies results in immediate personal bankruptcy. No insurance coverage, no corporate protection. Personal destruction guaranteed. International partnership accords. 67 countries refuse trade with discriminatory businesses. Bias doesn't just kill careers, it kills entire economies. Today, Morrison sits in his studio apartment watching Amara Williams address the United Nations on economic justice through corporate accountability. Her message echoes across the marble hall where he once ruled through hatred. When we make discrimination more expensive than dignity, we change the world. The audience, 193 countries, erupts in 7 minutes of thunderous applause. Morrison turns off his broken television and stares at the wall. On it hangs a single newspaper clipping, his termination notice from Williams Hospitality Group, the last thing he ever achieved. The moment his hatred died and justice was born. Sometimes the greatest victories emerge from the deepest evil. Sometimes the most powerful changes begin with the most powerless attacks. Sometimes justice doesn't just win, it transforms hatred itself into hope. 1 year later. Bradley Morrison sits in his studio apartment, staring at a single piece of mail that will destroy what's left of his sanity. An invitation. Embossed gold lettering on cream paper. The kind of elegance he once thought he controlled. The Williams Foundation cordially invites you to the first annual Dignity and Hospitality Awards ceremony, celebrating the victims whose courage created change. May. His hands shake as he reads the location. The grand ballroom of the Grandview Regency Hotel. The same building where he committed career suicide, where his hatred died and justice was born. He won't go. Can't go. But the invitation isn't meant to be accepted. It's meant to remind him that while he rots in obscurity, the people he tried to destroy are being celebrated as heroes. Sarah Chen receives the Courage in Leadership Award. Standing ovation for 3 minutes. Her daughter watches from the front row, Harvard Law acceptance letter in her purse. Marcus Johnson gets the Justice Innovation Prize for his Detroit clinic that's won $500 million in discrimination settlements. His speech, Bradley Morrison taught me that evil plants the seeds of its own destruction. Rosa Martinez wins Lifetime Achievement in Human Dignity. Her acceptance speech goes viral. To every person who's been told they don't belong, you belong everywhere your humanity takes you. 400 million people have watched Morrison's discrimination video. It's shown in every business school, every diversity training, every federal courthouse dealing with civil rights cases. His name is permanently etched in legal precedent, Morrison v. Human Decency, the case that made discrimination a corporate death sentence. But here's what Morrison doesn't know. What nobody knows until tonight. Dr. Amara Williams takes the stage for her keynote address. The audience expects triumph, victory, celebration. Instead, she reveals the secret that changes everything. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a confession. The discrimination incident that sparked this global movement, it wasn't the first time I'd been discriminated against at my own property. It was the 15th. The ballroom falls silent. For 18 months, I received complaint after complaint, victim after victim, all silenced, all buried, all forgotten. Her voice carries the weight of accumulated pain. So I made a choice. I could fire the perpetrators quietly and hope it stopped. Or I could expose the system publicly and guarantee it changed. The mathematical horror dawns on everyone. She deliberately subjected herself to discrimination to create maximum impact. I walked into that lobby knowing exactly what would happen. I endured that humiliation intentionally. I let them film my degradation purposefully. The audience gasps. She chose to be discriminated against to save millions from the same fate. Because sometimes justice requires sacrifice. Sometimes change demands pain. Sometimes you have to let evil reveal itself completely before you can destroy it absolutely. Standing ovation. Not polite applause. Thunderous, transformative recognition of sacrifice beyond comprehension. Morrison watches the live stream from his apartment, the final piece of his destruction clicking into place. She orchestrated everything. His discrimination wasn't random, it was surgical. He was never the hunter. He was always the prey. But this story isn't about Morrison's destruction. It's about your construction. Every day you face choices. Participate in discrimination or fight it. Applaud cruelty or challenge it. Film hatred or stop it. The 50 people in that lobby chose wrong. They turned suffering into entertainment. Their names are documented, their complicity preserved forever. What will you choose when you witness injustice? Share your story in the comments. When did you stand up? When did you stay silent? When did you choose courage over comfort? Subscribe to see more stories of justice defeating hatred, of dignity conquering prejudice, of ordinary people making extraordinary choices. Because somewhere right now, someone is being discriminated against. Someone is choosing between speaking up or staying quiet. Someone is deciding whether hatred wins or loses. Your voice, your choice, your action. What will it be?